morning, everyone at MCM London. How are you doing? It's a good audience. Hello, everyone at home as well. You might know them from Holby City as Bernie Wolf and Serena Campbell, but to their fans, they are known as Barina. Please welcome to our stage Catherine Russell and Jemma Redgrave. Good morning, ladies. It is fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are we on? Yes, we are. Hello.
Is this your first Comic-Con? Not for you.
I've done a couple here and there for
It's
Doctor
my
Who.
first time for sure.
As Barina, definitely.
Yes, definitely as Barina. Yes.
Well, we have to talk about that because obviously you guys have great chemistry on screen. Did you guys know each other before working on a Holby?
We knew of each other, but we didn't know each other, so we'd never actually met.
We hadn't met. No, until I was cast, and we did a sort of test scene.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten that. Just the two of us with a director and some random person holding a camera, a test scene in a bar. But it was quite a long scene, I seem to remember.
It was a really long scene. It was about 8 pages, which was a bit of a nightmare for you because you were learning 8 pages on top of whatever you were learning that week. It was...
Yeah, but it was
and
a good
you learned it better than
opportunity.
I did, which was...
But it was a good opportunity to meet each other for the first time, so that when we did meet proper, we had actually spent some time doing a scene that nobody will ever see.
Yes.
Was there a Barina scene at all?
It's a funny thing, this Barina thing, because it's something that happened that came out of a relationship that evolved on screen. So there was no such thing until it became a thing in social media.
What was your first reaction then to that, like hearing that about that ship name? Did you even know what a ship was?
I didn't, and although the Barina was created by you, really, not by us, we did know though that because they had asked us how we felt about playing lovers, to which we both went, well, yes, but also how strange in what was it, 2015?
Yes.
In this day and age to even ask us. I mean, they wouldn't have asked us if they'd said, how would you feel about having a relationship with this male actor? I wouldn't have been asked that.
No, it wouldn't have
so
been
how
asked.
bizarre. And I think we both felt it was a bit odd. Yes, why not? Of course. What a silly, bizarre question to ask, really. So we knew that that was why I think it was such a lovely slow burn to play, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was. They really took their time about establishing the relationship, and that doesn't often happen. Relationships often get they want to establish the relationship very early on, but they didn't with us. They allowed the friendship to occur, and it was wonderful because we found a way to sort of create a friendship together on and off screen. And I think the playing of it sort of, well, you say.
Well, I just think it was great because we knew that this relationship was being built to eventually. It wasn't actually scripted, so there was no all those lingering looks in bars and sort of elbows touching was us. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't in there, but it was very useful to know that that's where we were eventually supposed to be going. So we could play the flirtation and the friendship and the eventual falling in love outside of any dialogue, outside of any scripted words, which is really unusual.
Which for an actor is what you want. I mean, it's like the most. Yeah, it means that you have room to really play and to be creative and to invent. So it was a real gift.
Well, I mean, you guys are great together, and it's great to see that develop between you on screen. Fans are obviously desperate to find out, will there be any more Barina scenes between you guys on
We wish we could say. Unfortunately, we don't write it. Sometimes we do. No, we don't write it. So we don't actually know. We just, somebody else is pulling the strings and we come and play whatever we're given.
But you never know. We're hoping. But obviously playing the friendship seems to come naturally for you. How was it playing surgeons together? Were you squeamish about anything at all?
You go. I'm not squeamish at all. You.
No, no. My friend here takes an unholy delight in all things blood, guts, and gore. I get squeamish about bones sticking out of legs. That takes me a bit of time to acclimatise to. I have to sort of go through a decompression with it before I can get close to it. But the thing is, the prosthetic team at Holby are absolutely incredible. They are true artists, and so everything that they create is completely lifelike. And we have surgeons, wonderful NHS surgeons who come in and advise us and help us, and they always comment about the prosthetics. They say they wish that they could get them for their students sometimes.
Although they are quite easy to sort of ignore, aren't they? Because half the time, if you see a heart beating or some blood spurting out, there'll be some nearly always gorgeous girl, aren't they?
Beautiful girls.
Absolutely extraordinarily beautiful women hiding under a table, pressing something so that some blood squirts up. So as long as if you're feeling squeamish, you'll just vaguely look under the table, you'll be okay.
Well, we're going to give you guys a chance to ask a question in just a moment, but we cannot come to Comic-Con without mentioning Doctor Who, and lots of people are going to know you as Kate Stewart, Jemma.
Yes.
Were you aware of your sort of position in Doctor Who lore before you started in that role?
I was aware of. I grew up with Doctor Who, like so many people of my generation, and I was aware of the Brigadier. I was very aware of the Brigadier. I loved Doctor Who. I don't think I missed an episode for about 5-6 years, and then during your teens you sort of you gravitate towards other things, and then I came back to it later on with my children. But I wasn't aware that it was such a profoundly. I had no idea about this community when I started, and it's been the most wonderful thing to be taken to the hearts of people who feel that they are invested in this story, in this history, and I think I owe a huge debt to Nicholas Courtney, because the affection and esteem that Nicholas Courtney is held in has sort of spilled over to me. The kindness of people taking me to their hearts as well has been really lovely.
And did you meet Nicholas Courtney?
No, I didn't meet Nick Courtney. I wish I had.
Well, we know that there's a lot of love for you here at Comic-Con, so if you guys want to stick your hands up in the air, don't be shy, and we'll come to you if you have a question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm the weird one with the tattoos.
Yes.
I just wanted to know how...
Will you speak into the microphone?
Sorry.
There you go, there you go.
When you're working together, who messes up more? Who
messes up more?
Or who blunders, or who laughs, or...
Easy.
Quick question.
Next. Gemma's laugh is renowned throughout the industry and keeps us all going. I mean, you don't mind me saying you can hear it all around the building. It is the most... There we go. It's just the greatest laugh ever.
One more question over here.
What was your favourite scene to film together?
I don't know what our favourite scene was, but what you feel, but probably the one that springs to mind is, for what you saw, was the first kiss. Actually, in terms of filming, it was the second time we filmed a kiss. But it was an extraordinary day, because it was the day of the Brexit result. And so we were both, and it was right at the end of the day, and we'd spent a lot of the day sobbing in each other's arms and being really, really very angry and upset about it, and still are. But that scene was right at the end of the day, and we were both just sat down, weren't we?
We sat on the floor, and we were working with a director whose directors each director has a different approach, and some have meticulously planned their shots and don't deviate, and some are more improvisational. And luckily we were working with a very improvisational director who saw us sitting on the floor rehearsing the scene and said, "Stay there," and found a really lovely way to shoot it. And it was the most relaxed I think I've ever been, and in terms of playing a love scene, and I yes, it was a memorable day for many reasons, and some of them it's still very hard to deal with, but it made
that scene bizarrely easier to play because it was a very heightened and exhausting and upset sort of a scene, even though it ended up being a love scene. So it spilled into the scene. So that would be the one I would remember most, I think.
Strength of emotion. Fantastic. Well, we have a Twitter TARDIS full of questions from your fans on Twitter. We don't have that much time, but if you want to open the lid and grab a question and read it out.
Okay. It feels like a school fate raffle. Okay. I'm gonna need my glasses for this.
We should call it Tombola TARDIS, maybe.
It's very, very tiny writing. Okay. For both, if you could pick your character's favourite outfit, what would it be and why? Your scrubs.
No, I hate my fucking scrubs. No, not my scrubs. You look lovely in everything you wear. I don't know. I hate all of mine. No, anyway, moving on.
I like my pink coat.
Oh yes, I'll have your pink coat.
I'm very, very fond of my pink coat. That's from #inspired_scrib, sort of scrub with an I.
This is from Vegan Goth. As a question for Catherine, on a scale from 1 to 10, how weird is it that you're a guest at Comic-Con? That'd be a 10. But a very happy 10.
Glad to hear it.
Shall I do another one? Sure. Okay. Okay. #RainbowSky71 says, if you could play any character in a movie of your choice, who would you choose and why?
If I could do a what? What?
If you could play any character in a movie of your choice, who would you choose and why? Okay, I can't pin it down straight off the top of my head, but I do love a baddie.
Yeah, more fun to be bad.
I'll pretend I'm young. I don't know, Sally Bowles, I guess.
Sally Bowles!
That would be fun.
Oh, yes.
This is one for you.
Okay.
Jesus, I feel about 90.
Would you like to borrow my glasses?
No, I'm not that old. With the same age. I say that quickly because she'll hit me on the... what is the quality... This is you. What is the quality she admires most about her character, Kate Stewart, in Doctor Who?
The quality I most admire about Kate Stewart is her... I think where I connect with Kate Stewart is I completely empathise to the bottom of my, to the middle of my bones with her deep love and huge pride in her father.
Fantastic. Do you guys want to pull out one more question each?
This is a long one. I have to read them quietly before, because I'm being dyslexic. I'll screw it up otherwise.
Okay, shall I do mine first?
Yes.
@fictionallover says, really random question, but what would #Barina's ideal date night, what would be #Barina's ideal date night in?
As long as there's Shiraz, I don't think Serena would care where she was.
Yeah, it's got to be a bottle of red wine for you and a malt whiskey for me and a
packet of fags. Here's one. Oh, it's for me. You have such a huge range of fans, Barina or purely just Catherine fans, who love all aspects of your career. feels very weird reading this out. How does it feel to know you're adored by so many and created so many friendships? Will you also be doing more productions in the future? Well, the bit that I can answer about that is the friendship thing. We are incredibly pleased and proud about that the Barina fandom has sort of gone beyond Holby and is a community in its own right. And I hope will continue to be a community in its own right for a long time to come. So that's the thing that I would, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to end it, I think. That's a lovely sentiment. Thank you very, very much for entertaining us this morning. It was great to have you both. I hope you're back.
Pleasure.
Please
Pleasure.
give it up for Jemma Redgrave and Suna.
Thank you.